Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Favorite Album of the Year. Today we're going to look at the year 1967, right? This is episode number 3 as we make our way up slowly to the present. We've got a lot of years to go. All right, so this is going to take us a little while, but it's going to be a fun ride along the way. So 1967, another pretty hard year. You know, the mid to late 60s into the early 70s, especially tough because here you have so many great legendary acts first bursting on the scene with some really fantastic albums. So what we're trying to do here is take a look at a good number of them and make a choice. Just one choice, right? Which one's going to be the winner, right? So today I'm going to go with an album that was released on May 12th, 1967. Okay. Produced by none other than Chas Chandler of The Animals, of course. You know we're talking about Are You Experienced by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Debut album, Jimi Hendrix on guitar and vocals, Mitch Mitchell on drums, Noel Redding on bass. One of the greatest power trios of all time, right? Kind of rivaled up there with Cream, another band that was doing some big business at the same time. Some legendary songs on this record, okay? Hendrix Experience took the world by storm, not only with their songs, but with their live performances. Jimmy basically taking rock guitar to levels unheard of at the time. You know, guys like Clapton and Beck and Townsend were, of course, you know, the big names at the time. But then along comes this guy, and they're like, whoa, this is something completely different, right? Jimmy, of course, utilizing the blues and jazz and psychedelia and, you know, heavy rock, some of this Hendrix stuff, some of the heaviest music we'd heard at the time, right? So, some fantastic songs on here, legendary songs. You know, of course, you got Purple Haze and Manic Depression, Hey Joe, okay? Foxy Lady, Are You Experienced? Third Stone from the Sun, okay? A really cool tune that used all sorts of insane stuff in the studio, all right, to make all these weird sounds. Hendrix with his guitar using effects and all that kind of stuff, you know, tape panning and all that kind of stuff. Just really, really interesting stuff. Fire, of course, another legendary track. The Wind Cries Mary, okay? Beautiful, bluesy, psychedelic, right? Stuff that we'd never really heard before. And the kind of influence of this album can still be felt today. Easily one of the greatest debut albums of all time. Arguably the best of the 3 Hendrix Experience albums, studio albums. Okay, that's up for debate. All 3 of them are absolutely fantastic. If you watched my Hendrix show recently, I put this one at the top, but man, like I said, there's not much separating all 3 of them, right? Because they're all 3 a bit different from each other. This is, you know, the one that's got the songs that were kind of played the most on radio and what have you. So most people know this one probably better than the other 2, although arguably from an artistic perspective, the other 2 surpassed this one. But this one in its kind of raw state, all right, the band just coming out. I mean, you can't really beat the energy and the fire that's contained on the grooves of this album, right? It's just an absolute classic of rock guitar. It's an absolute classic of the psychedelic era, but more importantly, it's a classic of rock music in general, right? So there we have my pick from 1967. There's a lot of good ones, so it'd be interesting to see what comes up in the comments below. Which one is your favorite release of 1967? It only gets harder from here. 68 and 69 especially is extremely tough. 70 and 71 is ridiculous. I mean, there's just some really, really classic albums released over the next couple of years. So you're probably asking, which was my runner-up to this one? The Doors, self-titled. Okay, a lot of good ones that year. But it was a hard choice, you know, I mean, between the 2. But, got to go with Hendrix. As much as I love that first Doors album, and I do, had to go with Hendrix here. So a lot of other great choices, though. So curious to see what you guys pick. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Stay tuned tomorrow for 1968. We've got coming up momentarily. You've been asking for it. You've been asking for it. You've been asking for it. I'm going to list my top favorite bass players of all time. That is coming up this morning. As well as sometime later today, you're going to get ranking the studio albums of the great modern progressive rock act Echoland from Pennsylvania. All right. If you don't know who they are, stay tuned and watch it. You may learn a little something and hopefully go out and seek out their music. Great, great band. Coming up in the days ahead, we got Saga, we got Hawkwind, we got Spock's Beard, and we got the Flower Kings. Going to do lots of prog this week, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.